FiftySixi'N.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of 56'N with me and my boy BJ. Hopefully, folks are enjoying the no intro, outro music by none other than my son.
Hey.
Bro, created and produced in Japan, bro. Let's go.
There we go. Konnichiwa.
We outsourced it.
Hey. So basically what you're saying is we're now BTS.
Yeah, we are. I don't see how we're not BTS. It was made by, well, how does that work? He's not a Japanese citizen. Nah, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, made in Japan, just like
There we go. I like it.
All right, brother. Well, it's been a couple weeks. As we have articulated, new episodes will be released on Mondays. Doesn't mean they will be released every Monday.
Exactly.
Being more realistic with our time and
well, we had some not necessarily scheduling conflicts, but we had I had a week-long thing, you had a week-long thing that were just like, back-to-back weeks. So it is what it is. Shit happens. Life happens. Yeah,
life does happen, bro. And I'm about to get real busy here. I thought in the summer, my shit would slow down. It's not. It's actually, I just found out it's going to get a lot busier. And I don't remember I have to go back and look at my 2020 New Year's resolution for 2026. I don't recall saying dump mountains of shit right off the rip, but apparently that's what I did say because that's what's happening.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you'll adjust. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
All right, bro. Let's start off.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, let's kick it off. Let's see. The first thing we got down is, what is true wealth? What is true wealth? Obviously, that's more of a philosophical, rhetorical question. What is it to you? What is true wealth?
I think we've touched on something similar to this over the first time that I personally felt wealthy. And it wasn't necessarily what I had formulated in my mind or thought or dreamed about what wealth would be, right? I mean, my idea of true wealth was Scrooge McDuck diving into the pile of money. But the first time that I ever felt wealthy, fiscally wealthy, was probably 5 years ago or so, roughly. I'm not good with that time frame. I can't remember exactly when it happened. But when my coworkers were like, "Oh, dude, we get paid this Friday," or "We just got paid," or whatever, and I didn't even realize it and didn't even stop to be like, I had, for the first time in my life, I wasn't like, "Oh my God, I need to get paid." It hits at 1:00 on Friday because I got bills coming. I don't want to overdraft. Like, that was the first time.
Okay.
But to elaborate on my thoughts of true wealth, it is something I've been chasing all of my adulthood. To me, true wealth is when your personal, professional, and spiritual life are all in alignment. Still seeking that. Still pursuing that.
Okay.
It's not material things for me. It's not even necessarily. Well, I'll elaborate on kind of the different aspects. So, personally, when I feel healthy, and both physically, mentally, and spiritually, when my children also are same thing, and then for me personally, my family, meaning like my wife or my what do you call that? Your nexus, your core, whatever that is. Nuclear family. There we go.
Family, yeah.
When they are good, meaning there's no medical issues going on, there's no life altering, like world ending things happening in their life, and when they feel like they have a purpose, direction, and like they're not just floundering. That's one element. Professionally, when for me it's one, am I making enough to pay my bills? I think that's kind of number one. I'm not that altruistic to be like, oh, but I'm happy, so I'll just eat rice 4 meals a day. I'm not there yet. I'm still working on myself. And then, but also, do I see or do I feel like I have value in what I'm doing? Like, is there value in what I'm actually doing? And I have worked a shitload of different jobs. We've used to talk about this when we were in the academy, ask any questions about life. Martin knows because I've worked every job on the planet
Yeah.
almost. We maybe even touched on this show or Street Tales, can't remember. But so when those things align, it's amazing. Spiritually, which I have had highs and lows, I've had strong feelings on both sides, for and against religion, church, the message, where hopefully people can understand and sympathize, or at least empathize, if not sympathize, where you're like, why has God forsaken me? That's not a good place. But then also, I feel like I am right. I am in God's purpose for my life, my will. We're in alignment. I think I've had moments in the last 42 years where those have all aligned for brief periods, but consistently year over year, never once have I ever experienced that. So that's why I say I'm still pursuing it. That is
Okay.
my definition of true wealth for me.
Okay. Like it. I like it. I think I would second a lot of those things. I think
Go ahead.
I think you made a good point. I think at different stages of life, it's probably looked different and it's meant different things. Um, obviously, when you're younger, you think that wealth is a fiscal thing, right? It's a monetary thing. It's a number
I
that you
wanted a
get, right?
gold Range Rover.
Yeah,
That was
right.
my epitome of wealth.
You know what I mean?
Golden
Like,
color is what I mean.
yeah, like I had
I'm
like all
telling you,
these
I'm being
things, like
serious.
if I get this house or this type of car or this stuff, like I've made it in essence, right? Um, and looking back, I'm like, I don't know if it was necessarily those things in particular, or maybe what those things maybe represented. Maybe was a better way of explaining it to my younger self without necessarily knowing it. But as I've gotten older, or as I've progressed through life a little bit more and gone through some shit, especially with my body, I would definitely say that health, to me, health is wealth, right? Um, if I'm moving, grooving, vibing, and sliding, I can always get it back, right? I can always,
You didn't know how wealthy you were when you were
bro.
22, my man.
I didn't know.
You
I
didn't
didn't
realize how
know. I
wealthy you were.
didn't. I did not know how
You didn't feel
wealthy
that way.
I was, right? Um,
You could bend down and pick something up and just no
whether
noises coming out of your mouth. Just
whether I was we were doing some shit at training today, and I was like, man, I think we've all gotten to the point where everything that is on elevation requires 3 points of contact to get off of, right? It's like there's no jumping off of shit. There's no none of that. You're preserving your health, right?
bro, quick
And even so,
sidebar.
like some over. Uh,
Hold on, quick sidebar. You used to laugh when you went to the old folks' home or your grandparents' house, whatever, and they had those rails next to the toilet or in the bathtub. You'd be like, bro, you old as shit. Bro, I'm 42, and I'm like, how embarrassing would it be if I had those? Because it would be great. Instead of having to like reach over to the
well,
counter and lift up.
yeah, well, no, well, you talk shit, but I needed that shit when I had my surgery. When I had my surgery, I needed that.
Uh,
I had to reach over to that
yeah.
counter. And,
All right,
bro,
sorry,
listen,
sorry.
like, motherfuckers don't know, bro. But I didn't know how wealthy I was. I didn't know. I did not understand how
Uh-huh.
much I took for granted being able to put my joints at 90 degrees or some sort of range of motion, bro. Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
but as like I said, as we've gotten a little older, and going through some degenerative stuff with my body and kind of like deteriorating health issues at some different points, you realize like it doesn't matter how much money you got or um, what kind of car you drive or what house you live in. Like if you wake up in pain and your body doesn't feel good and you can't move and you can't do shit, none
Yeah.
of that shit means anything because money might not necessarily be able to fix that, right? Um, so I think
All the wealthy people you see trying to do all these treatments. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
matter how rich you are.
don't matter, right? So I've learned that for me that'd probably be the highest form of wealth is a healthy body right? And not necessarily just that part, a healthy mind as well. Um, I don't
I
think,
say, yeah,
I don't
because if
think,
you're depressed, you got some shit fucked
brother,
up, it wears on you, bro.
brother, I don't think people understand how how lucky you are, or how lucky we are to wake up in your right mind,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or wake up
Yeah,
in a
for
good
sure.
headspace. Because there's nothing like being in a battling yourself internally makes everything else, like that. Like what's the old adage? If you can't conquer the internal, you'll never be able to conquer the external things, right? And obviously, we can't conquer everything external, but the internal stuff we should have the most control over, right? That's where we can probably put forth the most work. Um, but waking, bro, what? And I know, I'm sure everybody can attest they've had some sort of mental struggles or whatever, right? But sometimes how that shit manifests in your body and in your life. I was just file this into the philosophical corner, science corner, whatever. But I got into a rabbit hole the other day about I've actually, well, not the other day, I've been the last couple of weeks. I've gotten into some rabbit holes about the fascia in your body, right? And we probably all read this book, The Body Keeps Score, right? And some of
Oh,
these
yeah, it
traumatic
does.
things you go through, and like, but I've learned that like the fascia is probably the place where you're storing these things, not necessarily like in your joints or in your muscles per se, but like the fascia, the connective tissue of your body is where you're holding these things. And realizing like, damn, this is a lot of this stuff is connected. I think some of what we see on the external of people, how can like obviously things seep out of you or whatever, right? Is definitely a sign of the internal struggles or internal battles or where you're at in life internally. Definitely 100% shows um, in the way you move, groove, vibe, and slide um, through life. It's I know that shit. I've never been fucking alcoholic or anything like that, or done anything crazy or nothing like that. But I know there was time when I was like, man, I was drinking more or uh, had worse eating habits or whatever, and that should manifest in your like not necessarily in your body, but like it takes shape in your habits, which obviously affects your body, which affects how it runs, how it looks, how it moves, how it feels. Um, so those two things, 100%, I think. But I think in all the things you named, I think for me, financially would probably be the least important on that because I just look at money as like we all know we have fiat money right now, right? So it's like the shit's only as good as the system, right? So it's not necessarily like tomorrow they could be like, shut that shit down, and now it's not worth anything, right? So I'm not unaware of that part, so I don't really put too much stock in that, Um, but the alignment part is the bigger thing as I've gotten, like I said, I've gotten a little older. Being in a space or what how you're living is aligned with how you want to be living, what's good for you. Um, literally just telling the shit to somebody that day. It's like the water's flowing down river, right? I want to be in I want to be in the place to kind of just flow through where I'm supposed to be at. Not I don't want to fight upstream to get anything, right? It wears on you. It's tough. It's and even when you get there, you're probably not gonna be satisfied. You're probably gonna be worn out, right? I was like kind of just going with the flow of the water of life and how kind of like detachment and all that other kind of shit kind of fits into that. Um, of like knowing, having some discernment of I'm not supposed to be here, right? Or like this isn't for me, or um, this isn't the place I need to be in. This is not working. I feel anxious. I feel anxiety. I feel uh, uneasy in my spirit, in my bones, in my whatever. And then getting to a place where like, okay, I feel good here. This is this is fine for the time being, right? This might not necessarily be my forever position, right? I was like, but in the here and now, I feel good. I feel good with this decision. I feel good with where things are. And hell, even now, I was just thinking about it before we actually got on the thing. I was like, man, where I'm at in life, I'm like, I think this is the most I've probably ever been, the most aligned with things, with health and wellness, financially, personal stuff, work stuff. And I was like, man, this is a good spot to be in. To kind of like feel aligned. obviously feel alive, but to feel aligned with something is very, very important. Um, yeah, but but the money thing is like, for me, it's not having excess, right? It's like you said, it's having enough. It's having enough to just be like, yeah, I got this sewn up, and I can wake up tomorrow and pretty much do whatever I want for the most part within reason. And yeah, I'm good with that. Content with that. Mhm.
So a couple of points, and I think this will segue into the society as a whole, but I'll get to that point. When you were talking about when you were growing up and material things in this house or that house, that's all very subjective.
Mhm.
And shout out Mo and Frank, love them, and I will work this into every story I can until I get tired of it. They are retired. They built their dream home, and it's gorgeous and all those things. Their son, who has known no other home, who's 8 years old, when he is talking to his parents about his dreams and what success looks like for him, as 8-year-olds, they don't define it that way, but then when they see their future as it should be, refer to the home he grew up in, their dream home, he called it a good starter home. I will laugh about that hopefully forever because he started so seriously, and I love every minute of it. It's perspective. He doesn't know anything else. This
Yeah,
for him, in all truthfulness, is his starter home. This is
yeah,
where
that's
he was born,
where it
right?
starts. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Talking about the mental and the spiritual, which I think all these things are interrelated, and
Mhm.
I don't think this is that podcast that we're talking about this, but it all ties in everything, sleep and all this other stuff. But mental, I'm reminded of a conversation I had with he was my driver through the State Department in Ghana when I was over there. He even had a business card that just said his name was Joe. That was not his name, but whatever, Joe.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had a picture of me and Joe eating. We were talking about the U.S. and we were talking about me, and I told him about all the things going on, and he let me talk as long as I wanted to. He listened, and I was talking to him about a lot of the stresses and things that go on with the job and all that. He goes, man. Again, I can't. I'm not even going to try to do his accent. I don't think it will come off right, so I'm not doing that
Yeah,
by any stretch of the imagination. I am not Godfrey, but I can't do it. But essentially, he was just like, he goes, "Those are the signs of wealth." He goes, "Nobody here in Ghana, all the things you're talking about, I have never thought about that until you just said it. When you," and he wasn't unhappy. He goes, "We worry about what are we going to do today? Are we going to survive today? What are we going to eat today?" They eat one time a day, and that's it. And he was doing 12 to 20-hour shifts, not just with me, but just
Mhm.
whatever
In
company he
general,
was
yeah.
working with. And he would eat once a day, and he was happy. He goes, "I'm making money. My family's eating. We have a beautiful home." His areas of concern were givens in the U.S. Where am I going to get my next meal?
Which is a
Where am I
basic.
going to get clothing for my
Yeah,
family, my children?
yeah, yeah.
Are they even going to have a school to go to? Not are they going to go to school and do a good job? Is there a school they can go to? It simplifies shit real
Yeah,
quick, bro.
yeah.
And I will just reiterate, I've said this before. I got to be honest with you. I looked at the citizens of Ghana. They're all 6 foot, 6'2", lean, shredded, just athletic frame to me, and just happy that whatever's going on,
Yeah.
happy to be there.
Happy to be here.
Contrast that with, and this might be the segue, we can wait, or we'll bring it up again with the US, where it's like we find things to be upset about and to worry about and to stress about. And I literally just had this conversation yesterday with certain family members of mine that are going through a bunch of different things. I was like, stress is self-induced. No matter what, I don't care what it is. It's self-induced.
Most of it, yeah.
When
That's
you're
in
like,
90%.
I'm stressed the fuck out. That's on you, because worrying about it, having anxiety about it, being upset about it, whatever, it solves nothing. And listen, pot calling the kettle black. I've had my moments where, and I'm not proud of it, when I feel overwhelmed, like there's too much going on and I don't know what to do. Physically, there's nothing I can do about it that I'm aware of. Maybe there is. I shut down, meaning I feel sick, like nauseous. I become extremely tired and I just go to sleep. I shut everything out and I sleep. And guess what? When I wake up, all the problems that stress me out are still there. So I solved nothing. I did nothing. I made myself sick. I didn't eat. I
Yeah.
I ostracized and separated myself from anyone who actually could help me or gives a shit about me because it's self-induced. And so I think that's, I used to say one of the biggest
I,
issues in
I would,
society.
I
Well,
would,
go ahead.
I would agree with you that I think 90% of the things we stress about are probably self-induced or not really that motherfucking important in the grand scheme of not, I mean, just life in general, right? Like the basic. I've even simplified the saying to myself of we need to simplify this thing as much as possible, right? Let's cut out some of these steps. Let's um simplify our issues or our problems. Like, is this? Am I going to be upset about this in 5 minutes, 5 days, five
Yeah.
hours, 5 weeks, 5 months? If the answer is no to majority of those, okay, give yourself a little minute to be whatever, feel what you're feeling. Okay, cool. Right, gone through that. Okay, so we're not denying our feelings or whatever. We're feeling what we're feeling. Right, we're not suppressing anything. Yeah, I'm kind of pissy about this. Yeah, I'm upset about that. Okay,
Yeah.
great, awesome. Not to be insensitive, I was like, okay, but now what can we do now to put ourselves in a better position? If not in the moment, right? What can we do to put ourselves in the best position? Are we capable of actually actionable things to do going forward, right? Sometimes that is. Sometimes that could be take a nap. Sometimes that could be to rest. Hey, I can't. I don't have enough energy to attack this problem or to do whatever. I need a minute.
Fair. Fair.
I need a minute.
Yeah.
I just need to. I need
Valid.
to back up for a second, regroup. Okay, maybe look at thing from a different angle with a different mindset, or just a little bit more energy. Whatever. Cool. I all for that. Um, but that's something that I feel like is take not necessarily training, right? But takes active
We got to
active
recognize what's
yeah, you have to
happening.
yeah, it's like that takes work. I wouldn't necessarily say therapy, but that takes some, work and, internal stuff, working on yourself as the people say. Yeah, but I think that does segue into our next thing is what is the state of our society, right? And I say
Well,
our because we're all, whether you like it or not, like whether we like it or not. But I heard before we get into it, I heard this on this last Drake album, and I know I'm fucking it up a little bit, but the voiceover interlude is like, he's like, I think he says like he's like, whether we're all in this together, he said we might be, he said we're all in this, whether we're all in it together doesn't matter, regardless, we're all in it, right? And that's kind of like,
mhm.
that's why I say our society, like whether you want to be involved or not, we're still all a part of this thing. So it's like, what is the state of it? You know?
Yeah. Well, great segue, sir. I used to, up until very recently, think that the biggest issue in society today is the lack of consequence. And while I do think that's still important, people don't have consequences for the shit they do. I blame a lot of that on the internet. And I heard a comedian say that the society took a hard left when they invented the save function on video games because you could save and come back to it if you didn't succeed. You could try over and over and over again,
Yeah,
respawning. That
yeah.
wasn't a thing when we were growing
Mhm.
up.
No, it
But
wasn't.
I think the other thing is the need or desire to be angry or stressed about something, meaning we are too comfortable as a whole. When you don't have to worry about the basics, food, clothing, water, shelter, things like that, like healthcare, all these things kind of get rolled into one. It's like you go out and you seek reasons to be upset. And um, one of my podcasters that I listen to. It was, I'm not going to name it because it's just everyone's going to tune out or shut down. But what he said, I don't agree with everything he says. He's a political commentator. But he was like, people get so upset and so worked up and enraged. I mean, about politics and who's going to be the president, not the president, or political commentary or news commentators or whatever they saw on social media. And I'm talking, there's all those memes about people falling to their knees and screaming and crying out and all this shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, just take a beat while you're on your iPhone in your home, driving your car, eating whatever food you want you have foods from all over the world, drinking a seltzer water. Your life's just fine. You are richer than anyone who has ever existed before you in this moment. And yet it's like you have to we don't get political, but wars that are going on, not in the US. I'll phrase it that way, BJ. I will say, just a quick touch on the last episode. I am the Lorax for all black politics. Bro, I wish I could tell everybody we scripted that. It was some well thought out thing. That was just off the dome, and I love it. I had more comments and texts about that going, bro, what is happening? But anyway, you are the Lorax for all things political that could get us in trouble. Wars outside of the U.S., people are losing their fucking minds. And I'm like, my son, I also have comments that I talk about my son who they're like, we all got it. He's in the Marines. We got it. Well, I don't give a fuck. It's my show and he's my son. So I'm proud of him and I'm happy he's doing what he's doing. So I'm going to talk about it every fucking show. I don't want him going anywhere. I don't want any of those things. But besides that specific, my son is in the military. It's like, even stuff that you and I talk about, like who are the indigenous people in the U.S. and all these things like that. Again, these are fun to conversate about for sure. But how does it change? You have to get up tomorrow. You have to go work out. You have to go to your work. You have to be kind to whoever your partner, your family, your nuclear family. How does it change any of that shit? How does any of that get impacted by what's going on?
That question in particular, just that one thing. It does, but it doesn't, right? In the short term, in the here and now, it doesn't, right? But yes, still got to get up and go to work, still got to take care of certain things, got to get up to. But I think in some cases, if we don't address certain things, it's left up.
Still have to conversate.
No. That's not
ruins your life.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, it's like, yeah, I agree. I think some people get very, very overworked for things that not necessarily are not their business, but they don't really have an effect on. Like they can't really affect it per se, right? And some things obviously are societal issues, right? And I think if we don't, as a whole, I guess like chop it up, if we don't, if each one of us does it, for example, right? If washing our hands was the issue, right? We'll just say that's a broad stroke, right? Very, 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 very broad thing, right? If washing our hands was the issue, right? Each one of us don't kind of attack that issue in our own home and address it little bit by little bit. It's never, the whole of it is never going to get better. We're not going to be able just to like get out in the streets and be like, everybody should do this thing, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, some of these things are going to have to be, I guess, attacked. I don't know, you want to say attacked, sounds a little bit aggressive, but are going to have to be addressed, internally in the nuclear home. And I think that's where you find a lot of issue, is because sometimes these things come up and then you realize, hey, we're not all on the same page about this. Because obviously, each thing in particular, right? Even within, obviously not to be political, but even within certain party lines, even within certain teams you're on, even within certain agencies, even within certain families or whatever, like you get into these groups because human beings are tribal. We are tribal people, right? We're tribal, right? We're not designed to be alone. So we we set up, these little tribes here and there, and most of our tribes are centered on what we agree upon, not what we
Mhm.
disagree on, not what we disagree on, right?
Yep. I've never known a group that say we all disagree on everything, and that's
Yeah,
why we're all
that's
friends.
why we're together.
No.
It's like what? No, so clearly it's usually about, hey, we're with the people, and you would assume. I'm just not thinking of the thing. You would assume if I'm ahead of the sexuals, I would assume that you're ahead of the sexuals. I just did that shit. But you would assume that we all have somewhat in like-mindedness, right? And then but it's okay, once we see an issue within, say a group, it's like, oh, we we disagree on this. And we'll take it to the what everybody can probably relate to, right? Is the nuclear family, right? Uh and obviously you have children, so you've been through this, right? It's like, okay, how do we raise our children? To believe what? To believe what? To
Yeah.
practice what? To do what things? To treat people
Mhm.
how? To believe in this? To do what? Until they can get out into their own world and ask their own questions. If we even teach them to ask questions and think for themselves. Because some people don't do that.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
So, yep. So I don't think you were asking me personally, but I'm going to answer it personally, because again, here talking about learning from my mistakes. So what I learned for me was, for me, my children, they had to, very important, think for themselves. Now, what age does that start occurring? I don't know. I think every kid's a little different, but the sooner the better. They need to be self-sufficient in the sense that they can cook their own meals, they can do their own laundry, et cetera, et cetera. And I can tell you I've fucked this up a million times, but I'm just trying to articulate via this podcast
Yeah.
what I've learned and what I felt were best practices. I only ever had two hard lines that I don't care what their mother said or felt. Two things make me lose my fucking mind. And that was respect and safety.
Mm.
And we could go into what all that is, but you're not going to disrespect your mother or I in our home. Never going to happen. To an extent, be respectful outside of the home, but I also,
Yeah.
probably because I was a cop, I was like, yeah, you don't have to be respectful at every adult. Some of them are fucking weirdos and need to hurt you. I want to
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah.
So I don't, the thing where you see little kids crawling up on strangers' laps and hugging. No, 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 no.
No.
Never my children, never once, hopefully never ever. But respect and then safety meaning safety in all things. And I'm telling you, I would lose my fucking mind. We'll start small, looking both ways before you cross the street, knowing where you are, thinking about where you are before you go there, that type of stuff. At a younger age, don't just be going outside, not telling anybody where you're going through,
Yep.
bro.
Yep.
This wasn't me. This wasn't my house, but I
Mm.
I got upset for somebody else, and I have feelings and opinions on parenting other people's kids. Even one day when you were blessed with children, sir, I would always address you first before ever talking to your children, just because no matter how tight you are, when it comes to kids, bro,
Yeah.
you don't talk bad about somebody else's kids, and you
Yeah, it's
don't correct
different.
somebody else's kids. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's
But
different.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
lost
different.
my mind because we were hanging out, and their small child went around the house and just unlocked all the doors and all the windows because they thought it was funny. Bro, I was like, "Is this a normal thing?" He's like, "Dude, it's something that just started." I was like my face turns bright red whether I'm super happy and having a good time or if I'm super fucking angry. So you never know. I'm either super happy or I'm fucking raging. And I can tell you this, I was rage mad. And he's like, "You good?" I was like, "Well, you got to check that immediately."
Yeah, that's not good. That is a
Wow.
safety concern, a big one.
Wow. And well, they all thought I was nuts anyway because well, actually, I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting off the rails here for a second. You're relatively solo. Meaning you live by yourself. Do you, before you go to bed, make sure everything's locked?
Everything's locked up. It's like fucking Fort Knox in here.
Like, do
Kidding
you
me?
double check or do you know? Or I don't know. I don't know how to express what I'm saying
Um,
for
I
you
double
personally, because yeah,
I double check all the egress points that are,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if I've come through a door, I double check to make sure that that thing is it says what it needs to say. It's, you know, whatever. I double check it. Even when I'm not there, I pull up that app, bro. I'm just like, all right,
Yeah.
just double checking. All right, cool. I mean,
So interestingly enough, like whenever I come over and I hang out at your place or whatever, I'm staying with you, I don't feel the need to do that because it's just you and I.
yeah.
But as soon as I'm with my children or my family, or
Oh
if
yeah.
I'm staying with a family, even if it's not my house, I will go through and make sure. And they're like, "Bro, you good?" I was like, "Yeah, are you?" Like,
Yeah. Check.
I'm doing. This is what I feel I need to be. I need to make sure we all good up in here.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. So you're not wrong with that, because I've done this. Even well, I say especially the last two girls I dated. I showed up, you know, after you get comfortable, you show up there and whatever, right? And you kind of, feeling it out. And I look around, I'm like, you ain't got no cameras? Oh, well, no, I never thought I Stop. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we need to address this right now.
Yeah, I'm ordering these right now. They'll be here
Yeah.
in 2 days. These are going up. I will put them up for you. I was like, I don't need access to them at all. I was like,
No,
but
yeah, I know that's the whole
like,
thing. Yeah.
you need to be able to see everywhere
What's going
outside
on?
your house, what's going on before you just stick your head out or do whatever. I'm like, no, you check them cameras
Yes.
first before motion lights. Oh, bro, I don't know. They think I'm crazy. Maybe you think I'm crazy. I was like, but I,
Yes.
okay, for my peace of mind, when I'm not around, I need to know that you're safe. I need to know that you're safe. I
So
need to know you're good to go.
yeah. So you can laugh at me about this one because I've told my kids this. Again, I sometimes overshare on these podcasts, but I tell people this, and they're like, "You're a monster," because I never wanted my kids to have a false sense of security, and so cameras, locks, extra locks, deadbolts. I even at one point had floor, those things in the
Yeah,
classrooms where
yep,
you bolted in, in the
yep,
floor,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
all that shit. And they were like, "Oh, we're so." I was like, "No, no, listen to me. If somebody wants to get in here and cause you harm, they absolutely can." And they were too young when I told them this. I'm not even going to tell you how old they were. It doesn't matter. I said, "But as your dad, I need a starting point. I need to have something to go off of." So cameras and locks and all that stuff you need to one have them call. It's a delay. They need to kick multiple times before they can open your door, or they're going to have to break that fucking window and hopefully leave some DNA behind something. And hopefully it's also caught on camera if you've set the cameras right 360 degrees. I've had pushback on this. I like to have cameras just inside the doorway. It's not that so I can see what you're doing all day. That's not the point. And people think I'm nuts, and we're gonna get comments that I'm fucking crazy. But you and I both know, just because I see you on the camera going around the side of the house, and then somebody breaks in, and then I see you walking back around the house, you can't say that was me. But if
Yeah,
I can see you breaking into the house,
that's
that's
yep.
you. That's the threshold, and that's the
That's
cop
yeah.
in you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, but I never want to exude or portray a false sense of security. I was like, no, if somebody
No,
wants to get in, they absolutely can get in.
no, no,
But you got to
absolutely,
give
bro.
your dad somewhere to start. And I said, I tell my kids this. I was like, I can promise you, if God forbid you are killed, you can know for certain your dad will revenge will come.
Oh, yeah,
Whatever that means. I don't
yeah.
advocate
Oh yeah, I
violence.
know what that means, but I'll be on
Whatever that means to whoever's listening.
whatever that means to you. Probably,
Anywho,
probably, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
Can't speak for
Whatever that means. Yes.
you. Yeah.
It's funny when I'm by myself, I don't care as much. I'm not saying I was right, but
Yeah.
it's a weird thing that I've realized about myself because when I was in DC in the studio, bro, I would come home, rack out, go right to bed, and I've woken up. I wish I could say it only happened once, more than once. Not only was the front door to my studio going right to my bedroom because it's the studio,
Yeah.
not only was it unlocked, a couple times it was open. Now, did I leave it open? Did somebody test the handle, walk in, see me sleeping, and go, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it, not today"?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
My sense of concern or worry, it was just not there. But as soon as somebody's with me or staying with me that I feel responsible for, it goes right back up.
That part right there. It's
I don't
like
know. It's weird, bro.
depends on if I'm feeling responsible for you or not, right? And I think what's funny.
Yeah.
This is definitely a little sidebar, a little segue, not a segue, but like a
Yeah.
a branch line to something else. I was having this conversation with a female friend the other day, and I was talking about this point. Telling me a story, and I was talking about this point. I said, I don't know if women inherently understand the points that we're talking about, right?
No,
When
I
it
don't think
comes
they
to
do.
I think sometimes women will see it as control. I said,
Mhm.
but I said, you know, I was like, and I was telling, her, I was like, you may see it as that. I said, but let me break this down a little bit differently for you. I was like,
Yeah.
have you ever been? She doesn't have children, so I can't go that segue. But the normal question I would ask is, do you have children? For women, probably not, because you don't inherently have this responsibility of the safety concerns, right? Of being who's in charge of the safety, right? I was like, but have you ever been in charge of a group or have an animal, a dog, a cat, or whatever, right? Something that you're all responsible for. Okay.
Mhm.
If I'm responsible for something, I have to have some semblance of you can call it control if you want to, right? I have to have some semblance of control over this thing. Otherwise I can't be responsible for it, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, I was like, we'll make it easy. I was like, you're the manager of a team of people doing a certain job, right? I was like, you're the first line manager, right? And if the project or the goal doesn't happen, they're not going to go to the people who are underneath you and ask why this didn't get done or what happened or whatever. They're going to come to you first because you are the first
Mhm.
line of responsibility. Now, if you as the supervisor or the in charge of the thing cannot tell the people underneath you what to do or what needs to happen, I can't be responsible for what happens if I don't have control over the pieces
Yeah, for the outcome. Yeah.
for the outcome, right? And then she's like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes more sense." I was like, "Yeah." So when a man is telling you, "Hey, I want you to maybe not wear this certain thing, not because I don't think you look nice, not because I want to control what you're wearing or whatever." I was like, there's two pieces to that. One, I find it to be disrespectful to me, right? It seems as though you are advertising. This outfit screams I'm advertising something, right? Not that you shouldn't be safe. You should be able to wear whatever you want and be safe. So let's just set that baseline right there, right? But it's if short skirt, you know, the girls are out, whatever. It says I'm advertising. Look at me, I'm
I'm
what is
looking
it?
for someone. Yes.
Peacocking, if you will, right? I'm
Yes.
showing whatever, right? I'm trying to attract attention, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily you're not in control of all the attention that you attract, right? So it's like, hey, I could be looking for the attention of one particular person or type of whatever. Doesn't mean you're not gonna get the fucking creepers or the weirdos that'll actually do some shit to you looking your way, right?
Mhm.
We can't guarantee that kind of outcome. But what I can do is say the chances of that happening are less likely if you do these things,
Mhm.
right? Cannot control
Well,
the outcome at all. It's like, but we can
no.
decrease the chances of this happening if we go this route, right? So there's that part of
Yes.
it. Okay. The next part of it is she's like, oh, that just sounds like control. It's like it's not necessarily control. I was like, but if we can mitigate, if we know, hey, all the accidents that happened, 95% of the accidents happened when people took this street as opposed to this street. Hey, um,
Yeah. Why would you take the other street?
I would appreciate it if you wouldn't take that street, right? You know what I mean? And obviously sometimes it's a respect thing, but also it's a safety thing as well. It's like I need you to if I'm not around to watch you or to watch over you, look out for you. Again, I'm not necessarily babysitting you, telling you you can't have fun or do whatever. I actually want you to have fun, but I want you to be safe. I want you to be safe first and foremost. It's like especially if I'm not around. Like, oh yeah, no, I guess that makes sense. I was like, yeah, I gotta be able to have some sort of I got to be able to control the direction or move the pieces in the way that needs to be, or else I can't be
Mhm.
responsible for the outcome. I was like,
Yeah.
if something happens to you, they're not going to be like, oh my God, some random blah, 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 blah. They're going to be like, first of all, the question's going to be, where the fuck were you at?
Yeah.
Where were
Where
you?
were you?
Where were
What
you?
time was it?
What time was it?
Mhm.
How come you?
What were you
How come?
doing?
How come she wasn't safe? How come this? All the questions again are going to come to me. You know why? Because I am responsible for you, and your safety is a part of that responsibility. So, my bad. I know you went off on a little tangent there. I had to straighten that out for a second.
Well, let me throw this at you because I actually I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was in mixed company, meaning men and women. Um,
co-ed collab.
Doesn't matter. I don't know necessarily their religious leanings. I don't think it didn't matter when I made the statement, and we had a conversation about it. But I was like, men are the spiritual heads of the household, and immediately all the women are like, mm. And I said,
Okay.
hold on. That I'm not saying they're above you or control you or you should be barefooting in the kitchen or you don't have value. None of that. I said, but let me ask you this. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. See, I wasn't prepared for this, but you triggered the memory in my head. All the men that you were with before, whoever you're with now, who you are comfortable with, whether you're married or living together, did you feel, one, safe and secure when they're around? Two, did they bring peace into your home? And hands down, the prior relationships, every woman that was there said no. I said, okay, what about the men you're with now? They're like, well, yeah. I said, so you feel safe and secure when he's home, right? Even the animals will act different, meaning dogs, cats, whatever, when their man is home. Yes. I said, okay. Does he also bring peace and like calm and like, I'm glad he's home. Like everything, it's like everything's going to be okay. I said, so even if you don't go to church or believe in the Bible or whatever, I was like, it's one of those things where God doesn't, you might
Yeah, I
not believe
don't.
in God, but he believes in you. Or if you want to go that way, that you don't have to believe in the devil, but he believes in you.
Yeah.
I said, so, and again, there's all this other stuff. Like as a man, you shouldn't cause chaos in your home. You shouldn't make your partner feel unsafe. All these things, all these things. But when they're aligned, right?
Yeah.
When a man's doing what he's supposed to do, I said, that's the basis of what he's talking about. Now, there's much more. There's
Wants
getting
to
into
it.
the
Yeah.
word script. There's nuance, but
Yeah.
I was just trying to get down to the primordial soup of the point that I was making. It fits, bro.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. It I won't get upset about this. I was like, but women are emotional beings, and very, very broad stroke of the brush here. I was like, but I think it's safe to say that the majority of women act off emotion, and emotions kind of rule. Sometimes it's emotion dictates their action. Sometimes, whereas men don't necessarily have that luxury, and I actually find it to be a little bit of a sign of weakness if men are driven by their emotions in everything that they do. It's like,
Nobody wants to see a man get emotional, bro.
no, no. It's not
It's
to say that
uncomfortable.
it's not to say that you can't have emotions, because I'm
No,
very, very, very in touch with my emotions. I know how I feel
listen,
about
you and I,
everything.
you've seen me, you and I
Yeah.
have seen each other emotional in times of great anger, sadness, or
Mhm.
frustration. It happens,
Yeah.
but it's not. It is a rare fucking occurrence. My kids were actually trying to count the other day. They're like, I think I've seen you cry 2 or 3 times. I was like, yeah.
It
Why?
happens
What
to
am I
us.
going to cry about? And the only reason, and I said, I'm embarrassed that you even saw that many times.
Exactly. I'm not thrilled about that.
I'm not happy that you could even count,
Yeah.
even though it's on one hand. But that's what I think it was a comedian. Just to your point that men and women are different, testosterone and estrogen. It was a comedian. And I this is what happens when you just start going off the cuff. I want to give credit to where it's due, but I can't
Yeah.
remember who it was. I know it was a female. I just can't remember. She was talking about estrogen and men wanting to inject estrogen in their bodies and all this stuff. She was like, listen, you want to ride the dragon? Let me tell you what to expect. And she goes off of this tangent. I was like, she's not wrong though. She's like, you want to ride
No.
the dragon, bro? She goes, because
No, you
this
don't want
shit
that.
is nuts. She goes, and it's even worse when like women, they know what's happening and they're like, I can't
They
help it. I'm
can't
either
help
gonna
it.
cry, I'm gonna
Can't help it.
yell, I'm gonna sweat, I'm gonna get that sweat on my upper lip, I'm gonna
Can't
all
help it.
these things are gonna happen all the time.
Can't help it. Come back a couple days later and be like, listen, I just want to apologize for the other day.
I was going through some stuff.
I don't know what was going on. I just couldn't help it. You're like, it's okay.
Hey,
I get it. I get it. It's like you would tell times like, listen, once you understand that you don't understand women, you have a very, very different viewpoint
it'll be good, bro.
of what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that this is a relationship advice episode, but men, you got to have lines in the sand. The fewer, the better. Make your life easier. Promise you. You know, whatever those are for you. But the fewer the lines in the sand, the better. Other than that, you just got to kind of, free spirit, baby.
You just you gotta
Hey,
you gotta weather that storm. Man.
hey, bro, it'll be all right tomorrow.
You gotta weather that storm. Sometimes you just gotta give it. Like I said, bro, make it simple. Hey, sometimes you gotta let things
Yeah,
play out. I've started to teach some of the younger guys on the squad. Like, how do I handle? I was like, give it 15 minutes. That will
yeah,
work itself out. Give it 15 minutes. That'll work itself out.
100%.
100%.
This was a YouTube thing, same vein. It was a guy. I am trash today, bro. I'm not dropping any giving credit to anybody. I'm just taking all the
Stealing
I'm
all the
just taking
content, bro.
all I'm stealing it all, bro. But it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Not for a long time, but this whole thing, like, it was a relationship thing where couples are like, we can't go to bed mad, or I don't know, like I'll stay up all night. We got to hash this out right now. It's like,
Uh,
no.
uh,
Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. And to your point, we're two different people, very different people. Sometimes you just need to give each other space, meaning, hey, I'm gonna sleep in the other room or the couch, whatever. Let's, we'll come back at this in the morning. That's okay.
we'll reconvene
There's
then
nothing
later.
wrong
Yeah.
with you as a person or your relationship. Now,
No.
I will. He was trying to. He didn't put any metrics on it, but he's like, if that's your norm, that's a problem. He goes, but occasionally these things will occur, and you have to be in the space to receive what the other person is saying. That goes both ways. Doesn't matter who you are.
Oof.
So
Oof. Yeah.
you need space,
Yeah. That is
and that's okay.
something I've learned to articulate is
It's hard, bro.
is um is being like, listen, I need a little bit of time.
Mhm.
This is how I feel in the moment. I feel, angry, upset, blah blah blah, whatever. I said, I this is my initial feeling about this thing. I need some time to process my thoughts so I can articulate this in the best possible way without the
Yeah,
extra emotion on it. And we can hash this out or we can work through this issue without the emotion on it. Like you, won't you? Still want to be here? I want to be able to work this out, but at the current moment, in my current state, I don't think that's going to be a productive conversation. And we
yes,
need to circle back on this, and maybe in the morning, maybe tomorrow evening, whatever. I think if it's some days, I'm like, oh, it's kind of a big problem if it's some days, but
that's aggressive. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, ooh, it's okay, but
it's
like
not like hard. I don't know how to put a hard line. It's not
yeah,
like, hey, give it an hour,
yeah,
give it a day. I don't know. It fluctuates, but kind of tying back to my kids, I used to help me phrase this right, because I'm not trying to bash anyone in the story, but certain parental figures.
uh-huh.
Well, let's phrase it this way. We've all seen either movies or videos or clips or whatever where something's going on and the parent is screaming and chasing them through the house, coming through the door. They're just the kids trying to get away or get some space in their bedroom. They kick down the door and they just want to keep yelling and keep fighting. Nothing will be accomplished. I'll phrase it that way. I used to always tell my kids, if you go to your room and you shut the door, it was mostly for them too. If they were fighting, they
Yeah,
needed time, they would shut the door. I would rage mode if the other sibling tried to kick the door or come in or violate that sanctity. I
uh-huh.
was like, this is not forever. And if you're having a disagreement with one of your parents, I will give you your space, but we are going
We're
to
going
address
to
it. It's not
we're
just
going to
going
talk
to
about
go
it.
away, but I will give you your space. So I tried to give them that, like, this is you. It's important in my home that you have a space where you can, if you need it, be alone for a
You know,
period of time. Now,
calibrate yourself. Yep.
doesn't mean it's going away though.
Oh no, no,
We're
no.
going to talk about
We're
it.
gonna talk about
We're
this.
going
Oh,
to talk about
we're gonna talk about
it.
this. 100
Yes,
percent.
but
Yeah, don't
I will give you your time to gather your thoughts.
hey, that's hey, my my aunt used to tell me, I was like, hey, you need to gather yourself. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Hey,
Yep.
before you say something you want to say or do something out of pocket,
Uh-huh.
gather yourself. Gather yourself. Okay. Now, once you feel like you've gathered yourself, then
Address this.
we'll address this. I was like, but don't don't let your anger put you in a worse spot than you're already in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't dig yourself a little hole. 100%.
Wise words.
Um, we talked about some. Oh, we still segue into our other thing. We touched on it a little bit earlier. I was like, but the power of the mind,
Go.
power of the mind, and the power of thought. I think those are similar, but two separate things. They're very, very similar, but two separate things, right?
Yeah.
And what got me thinking about this earlier was I saw this random reel, and he was talking about this in terms of dating, but I kind of took it and just applied it to life. He's like, man, he's like, if you're a guy that plays sports, right? It's like you grew up playing sports or whatever, did something hard or whatever. He's like, why would you mess with a woman who never played sports? I was like, I'm not I'm not tracking. He's like, why would you pick somebody, be with somebody that doesn't understand how to do hard things or how to persevere through difficult things, right? And I was like, okay, I see where you're going. But then it kind of got me thinking on just on this topic in and of itself. And it's like, okay, I think that I've said this for a long time. I was like, your mind is probably your biggest, biggest, and most important battlefield that you will have throughout your life.
100%.
100%. 100% is going to be the toughest thing. It's like because you're going to develop over time, right? And you're going to go through things that's going to give you more, I want to say, tools in your tool bag to be able to kind of persevere through things, right? I was like, but one of the, I think there's three prayers that I've prayed a lot in the last, I'd say, 5 years, right? I was like, but a prayer of perseverance is definitely one of them, probably one of the top three. Um, and I've said this before, there's no trophy for all the things that you can endure, right? I was like, but there is something to be said for things that you can overcome, right?
Yes.
Um, and it's not to we'll have different, obstacles or whatever. I'm not going to be here and say, oh man, I've had, you know, two knee surgeries and fucking degenerative arthritis and all this kind of shit, and try to make it seem like it's more than just that, right? I was like, but it's difficult for me, right? He's like, oh, well, this guy, lost a leg in the military. I was like, I don't know what that's like. I'm sure it's very, very difficult, extremely difficult. I'm sure it is. I was like, but I don't know what that's like. All I can go off is what I've experienced and the things that I've had to go through and deal with. And having the spirit of perseverance and I know well, you and I both know, it's like we know how tough it is on the mind to fight through and push through some shit. That's gonna be the literally like, it's almost like the physical part is easy. Physical part is easy shit. It's like once you get moving, it's like, okay, I tell you this. There's probably some times that I was going to work the last few years when my body was feeling the way it was feeling. Probably shouldn't have been at work. It's probably highly unsafe to the point I was like, man, I'm like, yo, if something happens, I'm relying 100% on just adrenaline to maybe just keep myself safe or whatever, as
It's an
opposed
amazing
to,
thing.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? As opposed to being like, no, I'm going into this, healthy and well composed and whatever. But and I heard this thing, I read this one day, and kind of helped me change my perspective on perseverance and help me battling with shit in my mind, right? It's like, man, this feels heavy, this feels tough, especially when it's over a constant period of time, right? Man, I've had a rough week, or shit kind of just seems to be piling on, whatever. And the quote was, "It's like every day that you wake up is proof that you can overcome everything you've gone through in your life." I was like, damn, okay,
So I have nothing to add to that. And I think that covers the mind piece
yeah,
for me.
yeah,
But the thoughts piece. And
mm,
this is where um there's so much that I can go into, but kind of ties into what I was saying before. Whatever you fill your mind with is what will affect your thoughts, which will affect your sleep, which will affect your stress, your anxiety, which then will come out as acne, overweight, eating,
yeah,
drinking, all these things, right? Oh, eh, let me back up. Some people are genetically predisposed to those things. I understand that. But there's been a million studies, and no, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, and I'm not going to sit here and read a bunch of research studies to you. But I'm hoping that reasonable minds can say, yes, being stressed and worried and all that stuff and not sleeping will have a negative effect on your physical health. So this is where, for me, I I find myself doing things over a period of time, and I'm like, this isn't good. I need to stop. So for me, it was podcast and the news and political stuff, and it would just I would come home. I Here I am just talking about it on the show. I would come home angry, like I can't believe this is happening. Can you believe this is going on? All this stuff. Kids, teenagers, or these fucking asinine little clips that you see on social media sometimes, where some whatever political leanings you have left or right, whatever it is, they're like, my 2-year-old was asking, why are we at war with you, or whatever. It's like, bro,
No, the fuck they did.
first of all, no, they didn't. Two, if they did, you're a bad parent. You're a terrible human being. Why in the hell is a 2-year-old or a child looking at that?
Yeah.
But then it also goes into, this is why there's been a lot of studies on this. They continue to go, but social media, and Zuckerberg famously has said multiple times his kids don't have Facebook, and he doesn't want them to have social media.
Wonder why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you're just inundating yourself with shit. Now, some of it can be good. Yeah, right. Some of it can be good, but you know how it is. Those algorithms, baby. One day I'm watching DIY how to build a deck or something. Next thing I know, I'm watching some horrific tragedy, and I'm like, oh my God.
Bro, I'm telling
And
you,
it sticks in my brain, bro.
on that note specifically,
Yeah.
not that I've learned to do this, but I've been way more active in doing this, is, as the girls would say, curating my algorithm,
Yes.
curating my
Yes.
stuff. Like, bro, if I don't like this shit, block. If I don't like what this person's talking about, block. If it's a quote unquote friend or whatever, listen. For the people who watch the show
Yes.
and know me personally, or on social media, whatever, listen. Let me tell you right now, and I'm gonna say this in the most ignorant way. I be blocking and muting the fuck out of y'all. I don't want to see that shit. Right?
No.
If it's like, hey
No.
man, good human being, whatever. But if you're associated with somebody I don't fuck with, muted, blocked, restricted, I'm good. No, I don't. I'm in charge of what I'm taking in. Pause of the shit that you're consuming. It's like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Consuming.
crazy. Consuming. So the shit you're consuming is the things that you're consuming. Like, you have, and again, this goes back to the power of the mind and of thought. You have to guard, and especially your subconscious thoughts, right? So if you're just watching fucking cop videos or fight videos or negative shit, war video, all this other bullshit, it's like, what do you think you're gonna be subconsciously thinking about at night or when you're sleeping or whatever? What's gonna be in the back of your mind? Like, I no, get that shit the fuck out of here. Get it out of here. Give me some more AI cats and puppies doing fucking Jersey Club dance videos. I'm like, I watch some shits all day. Right? I was
Now
like,
listen, I'll watch AI shit all day because I
all the
think that
time.
shit's
It's
hilarious.
hilarious. Hilarious. I was like, I want to have a good experience. If it's not healthy, if it's not helping, if I don't find it to be useful or motivating or whatever, I get that shit the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I say this, and I'm just going to say I have people that I know. It's more than one. You and I have talked about it. As soon as you call me or text me or screenshot any conversation or post that has occurred on social media, I'm already out. I'm gone. Especially if you then go on a 7-page of texting post response back. Bro, what is happening?
So right now,
I can tell you some people are going to get their feelings hurt because people that we know do that. And I'm like,
not reading that.
do you? But one, it doesn't matter. It's not real. Nobody cares. And now that's out there forever that you said all those things.
Yeah. No. Well, it's to the point,
I'll never understand it, bro. I'll never understand
but
it.
I turned the comments off of my TikTok. And they're like, why'd you do that? Because were you getting, weird comments, negative comments, or whatever? I was like, actually, to be honest, it was the opposite. I was getting more weirdo ladies being like, "Ooh, you so fun." I was like, okay, I'm not here for that. I was like, I'm actually
I
not.
just thought you were getting a lot of dick pics, bro.
No. Pause. I get rid of the whole thing. I was like, clearly I'm doing something wrong if that's happening. Right?
It's not that's not the audience I was
I was
going
like,
for.
whoa, whoa, whoa! It's like, what am I doing? That is eliciting this kind of behavior. Like, whoa, what the fuck? But even
Shit.
but I turned them off because I'm like, I really don't care what I don't care. It's like I don't care. I'm just having a good time. I just happen to be having a good time. It's on video. I'm sharing it with you. If you enjoy it, great. If you don't, great. Mute it, block it, whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just having a good time. So I'm like, I don't need that shit. I don't give a fuck. Okay, get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, bro. Nah. What's next? Last thing.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm glad we saved this one for last. I was like, why do people not know their market value? And where is the proof? Right. And what I mean by this is, and this goes for both genders, both ways, right? Dudes would be like, oh, I'm this type of dude. I run this kind of program, and I'm blah 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 blah. Uh, you know, top notch 1%, blah blah blah, whatever. And then on the other side, the females are like, I'm this. I deserve this type of man. I don't blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, both of you guys are saying this. I was like, I get this type of attention. I was like, okay, so where are they? Where they at?
Well, who was it?
Where's the proof?
Borlak or whatever the fuck it was, that chick that was like, I'm a 10 and I've slept with 200 men. And it was like, I'm calling bullshit.
Man, get the fuck out of here. I was like, okay, cool. Hey, all right, cool. If that's the truth, where they at then? Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
Show me one.
Show me. Right? If you're so,
Yeah.
and again, I know I've said this shit all the time. I was like, if you continuously advertise yourself as I'm so great, it's probably not that fucking great. I was like, if that's the case, how come nobody want to keep you there?
That's a different conversation, but yeah.
On either side, I was like, okay, so, ma'am, no man wanted to keep you, and sir, no, you didn't find a woman that you wanted to keep that agreed to be kept by you.
Well, we talked about this, and I did get in a little trouble, by the way. You did not succeed in helping me not get in trouble when I said that women that are like, I've been engaged 5 times, 6 times. That's not something, right? That's not great. That's not good.
Not good. That's not good. That's not good. As a matter of fact, if you lead with that,
I'm out.
Yeah, no. What? Clearly, you're the problem. Clearly, there's something wrong with you, right? Everybody gets to that point, and they're like, nah. On second thought, nah. I'm good.
Something ain't right.
Something's
not good numbers, bro.
Something's going on with that. Yeah, like my day, bro, is lately. It's like, where's the proof? Do it. Show it. Show us. Where's it at?
Let me ask you. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. I'm not gonna put this on anybody or put credit where it might not be exactly what they were saying, but your value is what you make it. And I guess I hear we're talking relationally, but it's also business wise, right? But if I say, hey, my time is worth $1,000 an hour, that's my value. But you ain't got no clients. So there's that balance of believe in yourself, know your value.
100%.
Your price is your price.
Yep.
But the market will also dictate your price, or dictate your value, I should say. Is that a good way to say that?
On that, yes, that is 100% true. On every
market dictates your value.
Relationally,
or
the market dictates your value. The market dictates your value, right? The value is what someone is willing to pay to get it, whatever it is that you're selling or you have or whatever. That is the price.
Yes.
That's
also,
that's the true price.
That's the true price. It's also, so it's a monetary thing, but it's also what I think is more valuable is a time thing. And also time is one.
Yep.
Are you willing to go out of your way to see this person, meet with this person, talk to this person, whatever?
Yeah. Resources, all of it.
Then follow that up with, I think that's number one. Number two, how do they talk about you when you're not around?
Brother.
Yes, bro.
Brother.
That's your value though, right?
Ooh. Now see, that one could be tricky. right? How they talk about
What?
you. No, how they talk about you when you're not
You
around
talk
can be
about the
tricky, right?
market, but it can be.
The market or individually, because the market. See, here's the thing about
Ah.
the talking point, right? And
Go ahead.
we've seen this in business, right? It's like, hey, shit. Matter of fact, we've seen it in recruiting. We've seen it in recruiting.
100%.
We see him recruiting all the time, right? This is prior to all the portal shit, right? And this goes for recruiting like business, whatever. It's like, hey, I know the true value of this thing, right? I want to get it for a better price. I'm going to tell everybody else, not that great, not a good thing, blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
right? To drive the price down,
All
right?
right.
But it's only because I want to get a better deal, not because I
Sure.
don't think it's valuable. So it's like the talking part is a little tricky because we know that could be
So, well, then let me flush that out. What I was meaning by that. I'll do two different examples. Joe Rogan. I reference him a lot all the time, so it's not new for me to reference him on the show. Not every episode he does is a banger and whatever. But no one denies that man has done something amazing and is the best, top of his game. At the end.
the
We're
general
talking about
consensus.
en masse.
Yeah.
General consensus.
General
That's
consensus.
more what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
To your point, and what we have talked about on this show many times, no matter, I mean, I'm sure there's outliers, but general consensus would be you can never say I mistreated you or lied to you. See what I'm saying? So they might not like you, but the basis, the general, so we're talking about market value.
Mhm.
Well, BJ must have been a fucking piece of shit and treated you awful. Nah, I can't say that.
Can't say that.
Well, then he must have lied to you.
Can't say that either.
No, I mean, we might have.
And
Yeah.
even if those things are true, right? Even if he is a piece of shit, even if he is all these things, you still picked him. So what does that say about you? And your decision.
See, that's a little tit for tat. But what I'm saying is, in general, right? It's hard. I know what you mean by.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to say, and yes, but I think that would be more of an individual one-off. I would hope, as opposed to the general consensus. If 50 people were in a room, yeah, you're going to have I could probably name 5 right now that would probably talk shit about you that we know that we worked with.
Yeah.
That we worked with. But the general consensus would be like, no, he does this XYZ, right? It'd be like someone saying, BJ's weak as shit and he can't lift no weights.
I'd be like,
all right, well now you're just lying, bro. Like, you see what I mean? When you establish that, you're established. There's nobody that can question that.
100%. I get you.
Market.
I get you. Market. Yeah.
It's your value.
Yeah. The market determines your value.
Yeah.
Not you. So you can set the price, but the market will determine your value.
If everyone in the U.S. could bench press 600 pounds for reps and you were only doing 500, okay, yeah.
Be below the
BJ's
market.
weak as shit.
Weak as shit, baby.
That is not the case.
Not the case.
It's not the case.
Not the case. It's not the case at all, right? So it's like,
yeah.
And it's weird. I guess not that it's weird, but it's like sometimes you actually kind of see it. Like, obviously you can see it, but like sometimes you realize it's happening. Those things are happening, like where you are in the space or what's being offered is in the space in real time, and it's like, I'm okay. I know where I'm at in this room when it comes to certain shit, right? Because the market. Perfect example of this, where the value of something fluctuates based on location.
Yeah.
Bottle of water.
Oh yeah.
Bottle of water.
Yeah.
Bottle of water. Same bottle of water. Side of the road, some kid selling it out of a cooler. Maybe 50 cents, maybe $1. Starbucks, $6. Airport, $15. Right?
Yeah.
Last bottle of water, and same bottle of water in the desert, priceless. Right?
Yeah.
So sometimes where you are depends on that's also part of the market, whatever, right? And I was like,
the airport one always bothers me because they got you by the balls. Where are you gonna get water? You ain't got nowhere to go.
Exactly. Right. So it's like,
yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I will pay $50 for this bottle of water, sir, because if I don't, I won't have it. And I'm like, this is some bullshit, but you got me. Okay,
You got
cool.
me.
You got me. And here, yes, the value of the water in the airport is $50, whether I agree with it or not, because I need it. Right? But if you go to my, they say, she's a, you hear shit all the time. She's a Miami 6, she's a Miami 6, but if she took her, a Miami 6 could be an Albuquerque 10 or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like,
oh yeah, I know what that means.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I got it now. I see what you mean. The bottle of water. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Just sidebar, we're going all over the map on this one, but it's fine. I was in Disney World 20 years ago. I don't know. It was never my thing. Not knocking it, get it. But the straw that broke me was I was like, one, it's too hot. There's too many people. There's a lot of things. But the thing that finally was like, yo, what the fuck? I was hungry. So I was like, I'm gonna get me one of these smoked turkey legs. One drumstick, it was $25. I said, US dollars? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Guess what? I still paid it because I was hungry as shit. And I was like, I ain't never coming here again. And I have never gone there again.
There you go.
Boom.
That's the value of a turkey leg, sir. When you could have got that at the fair for $3. Okay.
$25 fucking dollars, bro. I don't know what popped in my head that way, but you just the water at the airport.
Well, you're paying the Disney magic, so that's a tax on that, baby.
We ended up just hanging out in the hotel pool for the entire time because I was like, I'm done.
The prices are egregious.
Last rant. We're gonna go respectful time, and I gotta eat. I don't understand these people. So I pay to get in, but if I want to go, then I'm gonna go stand in this line for 2-3 hours. Oh, well, you need to get the super pass.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get the speed pass. All right, well, I'm gonna get the VIP speed pass, which, all right, bro, you're just trying to hit my pockets left and right.
Yeah.
Nah,
you know the value of time, don't you? You look like a guy who understands time. Let me say this VIP pass or another $50.
I'm out, bro. I'm out. Plus, I'm too big for the rides anyway, and almost got decapitated. So I ain't doing that shit. All right, bro.
All right, bro. We out of here.
That was fun. We out. I hope everyone enjoyed. We got a little ranty at the end. All right, bro. Bye.
56'N.